system will be fully implemented in October with a field demonstration scheduled for tomorrow. Starting October 1st, bus companies must report unauthorized drunk driving immediately to police or face penalties including suspension or fines. In international news, President Donald Trump said yesterday that he does not want to discourage foreign companies from investing in the United States. Writing on Truth Social, he welcomed overseas investors and their employees, saying Americans could learn from their expertise before eventually surpassing them. His remarks followed the recent detention of 317 Korean workers at a Hyundai LG battery plant in Georgia, which raised concerns about U.S. immigration enforcement and investment risks. Trump stressed that skilled foreign staff are vital for training Americans but must return home once their role is complete. And now for today's weather. Current temperatures are 28 degrees Celsius under cloudy conditions. A heat wave advisory has been issued for western Busan, and temperatures are expected to rise with daytime highs reaching up to 31 degrees. That wraps up this hour's news. Thank you for joining us. You're listening to BEFM, 부산영어방송.
Your best choice. BEFM, 부산영어방송.
Coming up next is Busan Worldwide with Stephanie Yoon. BEFM, 부산영어방송.
Good morning and welcome to Busan Worldwide. Every day, we face countless social challenges, from inequality and the climate crisis to the voices of vulnerable groups such as the elderly and children. But many of these issues, often too overwhelming or uncomfortable to confront, quickly disappear from the news, reduced to numbers and statistics, and eventually forgotten. Well, this is where the power of art come in. Art turns complex realities into an intuitive, emotional language that allows us to see the world in new ways. Here in Korea, during moments of national tragedy, artists have created works to honor the victims while raising fundamental questions about social responsibility and safety. 예술은 우리가 외면하던 문제를 눈앞에 다시 세우고 그 불편함 속에서 새로운 길을 찾게 합니다. And art brings back the issues we try to ignore, and within that comfort and discomfort, it guides us toward new possibilities. Well, this is Busan Worldwide, and I'm your host, Stephanie Yoon.
This is Busan Worldwide, your window into Busan, your bridge to the world.
That's right, you're listening to Busan Worldwide live this Monday morning, September 15th, here on BEFM 부산영어방송, 90.5 FM in Busan and 103.3 FM in Gijang, Jeongwan, and Doksan areas. Now, for a coastal city like Busan, marine pollution is a serious concern. Recently, the Busan Cultural Foundation has brought art into beachcombing activities, transforming discarded waste into works of art that inspire greater awareness of environmental issues. At Art District P, or in Korean 예술지구 P, in the Kumsa Industrial Complex, a former factory has been reborn as a cultural hub. No longer a gray industrial site, it now welcomes performers, painters, and citizens, creating a space for dialogue on the city's history and future. Now, this year's Sea Art Festival 2025 is set in 다대포, where the 낙동 River meets the sea. 이번 2025 바다미술제는 낙동강과 바다가 만나는 다대포에서 열리는데요. Beyond the coastguard-like scenery, the festival uncovers ecological and social stories hidden in the landscape. So, in today's interview, we'll speak with co-artistic directors about the meaning of this year's exhibition and how art transforms social issues into a language of feeling and imagination. But before that, let's go over today's text topic question. Listeners, what do you think makes 다대포 unique? And what do you think is the most special part about Busan's sea? Again, what do you think makes 다대포 unique? 네, 오늘의 문자 주제 알려드릴게요. 여러분이 생각하는 다대포만의 특별한 점은 무엇인가요? 또 부산 바다만의 특별한 점은 무엇일까요? 알려주세요. Now, I've been thinking about 다대포. I haven't been in a couple months now, but my favorite part of 다대포, of course, is the sunset. They have just a beautiful sunset, and because it's so big, I love that it never feels crowded or too crowded, and I love 모른데 as well, just hiking through that little mountain hill. I love it. I love that there's a lot of shades and greenery and a lot of people working out and doing activities together. It's one of my favorite parts of Busan. So just like that, do let me know why you think, what makes you think 다대포 is unique. And you can always send us messages to pound 9050 for 101 or for free through Kakao Talk or the YouTube live chat. We have a lot of messages coming in saying happy Monday, loving Stephanie's new haircut. I know, I chopped it off. It's a lot. Actually, on Friday after the show, I made a reservation and walking to the haircut place salon, I was so nervous. And when she was chopping it off, I was so nervous. But now it's off and it's really easy to wash my hair, dry my hair. I'm ready for fall. So yes, nothing happened. I know in Korea, it's a big deal to chop it off. Nothing happened. Nothing bad happened. Only good things. So thank you so much for messaging in. We have 사랑디오님 messaging in saying, good morning, Stephanie and everyone. Happy Monday and week ahead. Thank you so much for messaging in. We also have 민구님 messaging in that 다대포 노을 낙조 분수 is something special about 다대포. I absolutely agree. 진리님 messaging in. TV Journey님 saying, hello, hello. Thank you so much for messaging in today. And we're going to be moving on to today's The Interview. And now it's time for The Interview. Art brings overlooked social issues back into view, turning statistics into shared feeling and action. Worldwide, scientists and artists collaborate to visualize complex data and inspire public engagement. In the face of climate change, art makes warnings visible, sparks imagination, and awakens awareness for real change. Well, the Sea Art Festival 2025 returns to Dadepo Beach after 6 years with the theme Undercurrents, Waves Walking on the Water. So today we're joined by co-artistic directors Ms. Kim Keum-hwa and Mr. Bernard Finod to discuss the messages behind this year's exhibition, the unique setting of Dadepo, and what audiences can expect there. 네, 예술은 우리가 미처 인식하지 못한 사회 문제를 드러내고 함께 느끼고 행동하게 만듭니다. 2025 바다미술제는 6년 만에 다대포 해수욕장에서 다시 열리는데요. 오늘 저 인터뷰에선 김금화 베르나피나 전시감독과 함께 전시의 메시지와 또 다대포의 의미 그리고 놓치지 말아야 할 작품과 특별한 체험까지 이야기 나눠보겠습니다. Hello and welcome.
Hi.
반갑습니다.
반갑습니다. Hello, hello. First, could you please say hello to our listeners and introduce yourselves?
Yes, hi. I'm Keum-hwa Kim, a curator working in Berlin and Korea. So I love creating projects in outdoor and site-specific spaces, upon exploring questions of ecology and ecological and post-colonial perspectives.
It's a pleasure to have you in the studio. And Vinod?
Hello, I'm Benaviena, and I'm a curator based in Berlin and in Geneva, and I'm focusing on socio-ecological matter. As you said, we are in a terrible situation right now internationally, and we will try with this art actually maybe to give another view on that in order maybe to make the world slightly better.
I love that. I love how you said it. And it's a pleasure again to have both of you in the studio today. Now, the Sea Art Festival 2025 is returning to Dadepo Beach after 6 years under the theme Undercurrents, Waves Walking on the Water. It explores the invisible currents beneath the surface. So could you tell us what makes this edition unique and what special reason guided the choice of this year's theme?
So let me just introduce a bit about the title, The Undercurrents, Waves Walking on the Water. This is the title giving shape to the visible and invisible forces that create ripples around us. So these undercurrents rise not only from what lies hidden below, but also through the interplay of the seen and unseen, the floating and submerged. So we are gathering and these movements and the voices of these layered beings into a space. So Dadepo Beach. And I think what is so special in this edition, so we are not focusing only on the beach. We wanted to highlight the places in Dadepo where its paths of modernization and resilience come together. So we are including not only the sand shore, incineration plant, or the former modern coffee shop, holding traces of the story of the city stories.
Oh, wow. I love that. And you mentioned hidden currents, and we're going to be able to see it not just at the beach, but around the beach as well. Mr. Vinod?
Yes, when we choose the title, Undercurrents, Wave Walking on the Water, we wanted something both poetic and slightly unsettling. After all, waves aren't usually expected to stroll around like they are on holiday, but that's the point, to look beyond what seems stable and familiar. And our curatorial direction takes its cue from Dadepo, where the Napdong River, as you say, meets the sea, and it's a landscape that looks like paradise, but beneath the surface lies a very different story. Disrupted ecologies, sediment from floodgates, scars from industrial fishing. And the undercurrents are these invisible forces, ecological but as well social, even political, that quietly shape life here. So the exhibition invites visitors to move past the postcard, past the sunset, as you say, view of the beach, and tune into the hidden rhythm below. Through site-specific and participatory works, we try to make these unseen flows palpable. The metabolism of the sea, metabolism is like a key word, I think, here in this show. The resilience of ecosystems, the fragile ties between human and more than human life. Art become a vessel revealing what is submerged, asking what kind of future we want to imagine, and hopefully sparking a collective awareness that care is as vital as water itself.
I see. I love how you turn Dadepo's surface beauty, like we mentioned, sunset or the waves, and really dive deep into the hidden ecological stories or issues into also a poetic expression. And we're going to deeply dive into that a little bit more today during the interview. Now, with two co-directors or artistic directors leading the exhibition, audiences are looking forward to your collaboration. So what kind of synergy has emerged in shaping the direction and preparation of the Sea Art Festival 2025?
Yes, I think this really great encounter we made in Berlin, and Berna has been very focused on environmental crisis or ecosystems, particularly within the urban context, while my curatorial practice has been more shaped by post-colonial thinking and post-anthropocenic perspectives. So we have the common thing and making exhibition in unconventional settings. So this Sea Art Festival was a wonderful meeting point where our two different curatorial practice could come together. So I'm very grateful for the contents Bana is bringing and to this art festival, more really engaging participatory aspects. We are really having focused on this issue. Yeah.
So that's great to hear. So no complaints so far. How about you, Mr. Bernard?
Yeah, the show haven't started. but it's true that we already have a kind of a little story, Kimo and I, because when we met in Berlin, we have like really fascinating conversation about public art. And that is the thing, right? Like it's how to make art a little bit more common for the people, as well people who are not really familiar with contemporary art. And so we had the chance to share a lot. And I think now it's a good time to make a project together, and it's working super well.
Oh, great to hear. And I think unexpected connections create sometimes a very meaningful outcome. So very excited for this festival as well. Now, with 38 artists from 17 countries participating, the Sea Art Festival 2025 will surely be a meeting ground of diverse cultures and artistic perspectives. So what were the main points you focused on when selecting the artists?
For us, the main focus was on artists who uncover the things that we often overlook in our daily lives, and how to bring out the resonance of the invisible with an eco-conscious and participatory approach. So we are more drawn to the artists who explore the ties between human and non-human, or nature and culture, the material in a very new and innovative ways for people to sense and engage with the environment and landscape, to rethink how we live in the present from a different or fresh perspective. This is our focus. Yeah,
I see. And Mr. Vinod?
Yeah, I think we can say like collaboration is a key word, because like most of the artists didn't know Busan before, so they were like really discovering through this process, and also working with scientists and with people from Dadepo. And that is really something special when we can manage to make some kind of cultural exchange like that.
Right.
So I think it was really special, because many of the artists are already sometimes have worked with us before, and that is something when we have really only a short amount of time, that is great, because we have confidence in them. We know that they are working conceptually in a super efficient way, and we also love their aesthetic, and you will see it on Dadepo. I think you will be convinced.
I'm excited. And I love this emphasis on trust and collaboration as well. Now, listeners, if you're just tuning into Busan Worldwide, we are in the middle of the interview with the co-artistic directors of the Sea Art Festival 2025, Ms. Kim Keum-hwa and Mr. Bernard Vinod. Now, as a board member of Art for Biodiversity, Mr. Vinod, and through the Reconnecting Art Project, you've deeply explored the relationship between art and ecosystems. And it seems that art and ecology are also key themes in the Sea Art Festival 2025. So what message and features did you especially want to highlight through this edition? And how would you like audiences to reflect on the relationship between art and nature?
Yeah, I think you started with this point, right? We are like in a real urgency. We speak often about climate change, but we can speak also about the loss of biodiversity and the other planetary limits. We say that there are like 7 planetary limits, and we are like now like just over kind of all of them. So there is first a kind of sensibilization that's need to be done, and the artists have this ability to speak like more with riddles. It's like not something direct,
right,
but it's something that you discover with the time, and that you can dive deeper into when you visit the show. So I think like the selection of artists is are people that are really, really like doing a great art, but also like sharing some kind of indirect message that you can discover with your visit there.
Okay, so it's not like directly in your face, but as you're enjoying art, you can kind of get that sense of maybe urgency or have a little bit of taste of that issue that is going on around the world.
I mean, it's like, I think also getting more curious. You know, like you just discover the art and it's the first taste of something. And if the art is really, really good, then you want to dive a little bit deeper.
Right, behind the message and the artist. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Then Ms. Kim Geum-hwa, you've worked with many artists while directing this exhibition. And among the works, is there one you feel best captures a theme of invisible currents at the Sea Art Festival? And could you tell us why you chose that piece?
Oh, it's very hard to choose just one
I'm sure.
artwork. And if I pick only one, then I would mention the Sonic Drift. It's a sonic sculpture by Italian artist Marco Barotti. It's a sound sculpture made of 6 horn-shaped speakers will be placed directly on the beach and transmitting a soundscape, the blending Busan's underwater bioacoustics like bluefin gourd or snapping shrimp or red-lipped cockle or even dolphins. These sounds are first collected in cooperation with the kiosk and also directly through his own diving at the Namu Island, mixed with hurisori, which is a very typical fisher songs sung in Dadepo beach for fish. So this piece will explore the idea of what is sonic resilience. So how these sonic experiments could create a positive environment and impact on marine environments. So we think this is very meaningful in Busan. And in the city, the largest, busiest harbor city in Northeast Asia, where ecological conditions are still under very strong and real strain.
Right.
So we want to bring this kind of power of recovery resilience from the underwater sound ecosystem to explore for the audience.
Oh, wow. So you mentioned the piece is titled Sonic Drift, and it's a sound sculpture. I'm going to have to go and check this out. I'm very curious. And we have a lot of messages coming in. Even ZZZ님 saying, 바다미술제 너무 기대됩니다 라고 보내주셨어요. You and me both. And with, I think you mentioned it, Mr. Avenod, artists collaborating with paleontologists, with researchers, scientists, even from ones from Korea Institute of Ocean Science and Technology. So how do you see these collaborations between art and science, or between artists and the local community, creating the synergy and adding meaning to the Sea Art Festival 2025?
I think... Just a moment.
No worries.
For me, this kind of collaboration and show making art isn't just one single perspective anymore. Instead, I think it's more about bringing in many voices, artists, scientists, local communities, in that process, making itself becomes just as meaningful as a final result. So this kind of collaboration requires us a different mindset, which blurs the boundaries, what is wrong, what is right. And opening a space, more playfulness, discovery, speculation. So I think this is what makes this kind of arts powerful. They highlight people to feel in a very intuitive and playful way, to link themselves to the environment.
Absolutely, I agree. And collaborations like these, I think, produce a sense of connection as well between people, maybe ideas and environment as well. And Mr. Vinod?
I mean, when we are like speaking about trying to speak about climate change or about like the loss of biodiversity, you can see around the world you have like two kind of people who are really speaking about it, and maybe the one who are the most kind of strong in their voice are scientists. And like scientists are not really heard neither, right? And I mean, they are like, if you read the IPCC report, that is the report that is written every year or every 2 years in order to just like explain what happens in this world in terms of climate change and in terms of ecological damage, like you see that we are in a really terrible state. So how do we make this message of the scientists, like how do you make it received by the population? And like I think the second group are artists. Artists are really aware of this problematic, and when they are working together, it's just an amazing force. Because as we mentioned, like the artists have an indirect way of speaking that can maybe reach all of you in a different way, and not forcefully in a negative, pessimist way, but also in order to build imaginaries.
Ooh, I absolutely agree. So it's almost like scientists have the numbers and they see the reality and they bring the reality to you. And artists, they're like messengers where they're not in your face, but they still bring the awareness and bring that issue into mind without being too uncomfortable. So I love that collaboration you mentioned. And in addition to Dadepo Beach, Ms. Kim Byung-ma mentioned it, exhibitions will also take place at sites like 모른데, the Kouni Eco Trail, and Dade Incineration Plant. So how do you expect each of these locations to really expand the meaning of the works presented at the Sea Art Festival?
Yeah, I think we want to show this Dadepo with a beautiful landscape, not just as one environment, but as a place of many layers of the past, present, and future, kind of living archive where the remains of modernization, like we see only just next to the beach, we have a lot of fabrics, and then an incineration plant which is not anymore working but still uncared, and but simultaneously we have also growing biodiversity as a liminal space between water and land, and the wetland is still there. So the possibility of recovery is still coexisting with this or the remains of the past. So I think this is very charming place to talk about what is this resistance of the past, what is resilience is still going on, what can we recover again. So we have these 2-3 keywords, which is not fixed for as on one category for one artwork, but we want to lead the audience to explore the artworks in relation to the Dadepo's story.
I see. I think it's great that you're encouraging audiences and visitors to explore, and it's almost looking at Dadepo's history and present and also future potential that it has in the future. Mr. Vinod?
Yeah, I mean, like one word that I think is really important in the art history, particularly in the second half of the 20th century, is site specificity. I don't know if you are familiar with this word.
Oh, could you explain a little bit more?
Maybe, yes. So it's like when an artist is working directly on site in order to reflect this reality. So like many artists of this festival had the chance to discover the different location and to work on site in order to reflect the reality. And when you are speaking about like the development of Dadepo Beach, there are like some controversy about like how it should become. And one artist from Busan, Yongshop Cho, decided to make a work directly in this incinerator, reflecting to one potential development. I don't know if you are familiar with that, but it might be a luxus hotel. And so like the sunset that you are loving right now, maybe will become only a sunset for specific rich people and not anymore for people from Dadepo. So these artists thought, oh, okay, maybe it's interesting to bring that into the debate, and there will be an installation reflecting this potential future hotel. So there will be as well a debate because maybe, as you know, like Dadepo was several times like a place of debate in order to know, okay, should it become a port or should it become an industrial zone? And like people from there really defend it. Actually, like women, a movement of women defend it with a lot of success. And so I think that is site specificity that just, but like you will discover there, like on 24 position, I think about 12 works that were really developed, really specifically for the site.
And this is not a good issue, but it's an issue because there's just so much potential in the area. But I love that there is a debate going on and continued debate in the future as well. Now, we do have to wrap up soon, but I am sure there are a lot of listeners tuning in thinking, ooh, I want to go. So then, do you have any special tips for visitors to get the most out of the festival experience?
Oh, we have a lot of routes you can choose for this huge Dadepo Beach area. I would say only two routes, maybe. One route we say, well, discovery routes, especially going through the modern-day trailway, where you can discover artworks embedded in the rocks or underwater, sculptures by Heike Kabish or photographs by Seba Kapkeo. And also you will find very special site-specific installation by Turkish artist Birun Eroviat, composed of textile sound and folk at the Morun and the coffee shop. So this is one thing, and the other thing could be kind of participatory route that you can play with a lot of artworks like the sculptures, which works like play tools by Paula Poanio Messias. Or you can join the Anshin Majewski's drawing workshops, painting in ancient organism, or kite flying with a roller barge in the textile pavilion. So please don't miss all these great opportunities to see. And also don't miss the sunset moment with Sang-dong Kim's artwork, which will reflect light and wind in a very shifting ways. Also, all of Holzappe's installation is a lot of things to discover. Around the beach.
Right, and I love how you said you have to kind of follow the route, and there are multiple of them. But it sounds like it really emphasizes experiencing art through all different senses that we have. Mr. Venot?
I mean, first of all, I think there is an amazing possibility for the people from Busan to discover the newly built subway, because actually, like the path of the biennale, like start from the subway station, and that's the line 1. So the line 1 was built recently, so it's a good way actually to discover it. And then from then on, please don't forget, if you can swim, your swimming suit, because they are like some sculptures underwater. That means that you have to dive in order to look at them, and you will discover really something special, and you can even draw them. So like the artists brought special drawing paper.
Oh, wow.
And like at the information center, you can just get this paper and make your own drawing underwater. So that's an experience.
I love that. So it's very interactive. And if you want to fully enjoy, make sure you have your swimsuits, but also be ready to walk a lot as well. And that's going to do it for today's The Interview with co-artistic directors, Ms. Kim Keum-hwa and Mr. Bernard Venot here in the studio. Well, thank you so much for being here today. And we look forward to Sea Art Festival. Thank you.
Thank you for receiving us.
All right. And with that, let's take a quick song break. This is 아이와 나의 바다 by IU.
그러나 시간이 지나도 아물지 않는 일들이 있지. 내가 날 온전히 조용히 눈을 감아 밤이 되면 서둘러 내일로 가고 싶어 수많은 소원 아래 매일 다른 꿈을 꾸던 아이는 그렇게 오랜 시간 겨우 내가 되려고 아팠던 걸까 쌓이는 하루만큼 더 멀어져 우리는 화해할 수 없을 것 같아 나아지지 않을 것 같아 어린 날 내 맘엔 영원히 가물지 않는 바다가 있었지 이제는 흔적만이 남아 희미한 그곳엔 설렘으로 차오르던 나의 숨소리와 머리 위로 선선히 부는 바람 파도가 되어 어디로든 달려가고 싶어 작은 두려움 아래 천천히 두 눈을 뜨면 세상은 그렇게 모든 순간 내게로 와 눈부신 선물이 되고 숱하게 의심하던 나는 그제야 너에게 대답할 수 있을 것 같아 선 너머의 기억이 나를 부르고 있어 아주 오랜 시간 동안 잊고 있던 목소리에 내 안에 바다가 태어난 곳으로 휩쓸려 길을 잃어도 자유로워 더 이상 날 가두는 어둠의 눈 감지 두 번 다시 날 모른 척하지 그럼에도 여전히 가끔은 삶에게 지는 날들도 있겠지 또다시 헤매일지라도 돌아오는 길을
And that was IU with 아이와 나의 바다. Welcome back to Busan Worldwide. Right before that song break, we talked about the Sea Art Festival. We have 지현 초이님 messaging in. 물 안에도 작품이 있다니 너무 기대되네요 라고 보내주셨어요. Absolutely. So interesting. I can't wait to go see it. And all the things that they mentioned, not just the visuals, but the sound and being interactive in those beautiful art as well. So quite exciting, and it's going to be starting in a couple weeks. So do check it out in 다대포 here in Busan. We also have 개몽님 messaging in. Hello, 고수님 and TVJ님. All messaging in. Thank you so much for messaging in today. And we were talking about what do you think makes 다대포 unique? We have 사랑대요님 messaging in saying, 다대포 is my favorite beach and it's natural and you can enjoy amazing sunset. And he actually sent us some pictures through Kakao Talk. And there's a picture of him grabbing a crab. Ooh, you caught a crab. And also beautiful sunset, just the sun going over the mountains, right? Like hiding a little bit. And it's beautiful. And how it reflects, the sunset light reflects on the waves on the water is just beautiful. I'm going to have to go visit 다대포 very soon. We have some messages coming in through pound 9050 as well. 9501님 saying 다대포는 밤이 정말 이뻐요. 저녁에 걷는 것도 좋고 또 이 자전거 코스로도 최고랍니다 라고 보내주셨어요. Ooh, beautiful. I absolutely agree. Not very good at riding a bike, but I have tried riding on the trail, and it was really fun. Very straight road, right? And that was easy. So great. Thank you so much for messaging in. We also have 재봉리님 messaging in, talking about my hair. Yes, I chopped it off. I hope you like it. I love it. With that, we're going to jump into our next segment. Now it's time for Busan Update. The city of Busan will operate a youth space stamp tour during Busan Youth Week from September 20th to 26th. 부산시는 9월 20일부터 26일까지 부산 청년 주간 동안 청년공간 스탬프 투어 다 같이 돌자 청년공간을 운영합니다. So the tour will take place across 34 youth spaces, including the Busan Youth Center and the Youth 두드림 Center. Young people between the ages of 18 and 39 who live or work in Busan can complete the tour by visiting 5 spaces and collecting stamps. Participants will receive a Lotte Giants Pikachu keyring as a souvenir. Youth spaces, which serve as places of rest and exchange, are operated in 34 locations throughout the city, and the city hopes this event will encourage more young people to experience and make use of these youth spaces in daily life. And that's it for today's Busan Update.
From the heart of Busan to the pulse of the world. Global city, local voices. This is Busan Worldwide.
And now it's time for Correspondent Reports. Let's head over to the U.S. for the latest updates from San Diego with our correspondent, Ms. 봉소연. 네, 오늘은 미국 소식 들어보겠습니다. 미국의 봉소연 통신원 안녕하십니까?
네, 안녕하세요. 미국 현지에서 통신원 봉소연입니다.
네, 반갑습니다. So with that, let's jump into our first topic of the day. Over 300 Koreans detained by U.S. immigration authorities in Georgia have been released and returned to Korea. So could you give us the details? 첫 번째 소식입니다. 미국 이민당국으로부터 조지아에 구금됐다 풀려난 300여 명의 한국인들이 지난 12일 드디어 한국 땅을 밟았는데요. 이 소식 자세히 알려주시죠.
네, 지난 4일 미국 조지아주의 배터리 합작 공장 건설 현장에서 이민당국의 대대적인 기습 단속이 벌어졌습니다. 이때 현장 체포 인원만 모두 475명, 미국 이민당국 단속 역사상 최대의 규모였고요. 여기서 한국 기업 직원 등 한국인만 300여 명이 체포됐습니다. 당국에 따르면 미국에 불법적으로 입국했거나 체류 자격 요건을 위반한 사례라고 주장했는데요. 그런데 이 체포 과정 등의 모습이 충격적으로 전해졌죠. 이후 석방을 위한 교섭 절차가 시급하게 진행이 됐고요. 지난 12일 오후 3시 23분쯤 한국인 300여 명을 태운 전세기가 인천공항에 도착했습니다. 체포 이후 구금된 지 8일 만이었습니다.
그렇군요. 그래도 안전하게 돌아왔다니 다행입니다. So on September 4th, U.S. immigration authorities carried out a large-scale raid at a battery construction site in Georgia. A total of 475 people were arrested, including over 300 Koreans, making it the largest immigration raid in U.S. history. Authorities said the detainees had entered illegally or violated visa conditions. Shocking images from the arrest circulated widely, and negotiations for their release followed quickly. And on September 12th, a chartered plane carrying the Koreans arrived at Incheon Airport 8 days after their detention. Now, such incidents should not happen again, so are follow-up measures being discussed? 이러한 일이 재발이 되지 않아야 할 텐데요. 후속 조치들에 대한 논의도 이뤄질 예정인가요?
네, 조현 외교부 장관은 이번에 구금됐던 한국인 근로자들이 미국에 다시 와서 일을 할 때 아무 문제가 없게 해달라고 미국 측에 요청했는데요. 이에 마코 루비오 국무장관은 트럼프 대통령이 한국 측이 원하는 대로 가능한 이루어질 수 있게 신속하게 협의하라고 지시했다고 말했습니다. 이번 사건은 우선 이렇게 일단락이 됐지만 비자 문제는 여전하다는 지적입니다. 지난 12일 기자간담회에서 위성락 국가안보실장은 단기 상용 비원 비자와 전자여행 허가제, 이스타에 대한 미국 정부의 명확한 가이드라인을 확인해서 긴밀하게 협의해 나가겠다는 입장입니다.
그렇군요. So Foreign Minister Jo Hyun requested that the detained workers face no issues if they return to work in the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said, U.S. and Secretary of State Marco Rubio said President Trump instructed swift discussions to accommodate Korea's request. While the matter is settled for now, visa issues remain. National Security Office head Wi Sung-rak said Korea will continue close consultations with the U.S. to clarify guidelines for short-term B1 visas and ISTA program. Well, with that, let's jump into our next topic of the day. Following news that young activist Charlie Kirk was shot and killed, a suspect has now been arrested. So can you provide the details? 두 번째 소식입니다. 최근 청년 활동가 찰리 커크의 피격 사망 소식에 이어서 용의자가 체포됐다는 소식도 전해졌는데요. 이 소식 자세히 들어보겠습니다.
네, 지금 미국 내에서 뜨거운 뉴스인데요. 현지 시간으로 지난 10일 유타주에 있는 유타밸리 대학 행사 도중에 트럼프 대통령의 최측근으로 알려진 찰리 커크가 괴하되게 총을 맞고 쓰러져서 병원에서 끝내 사망했습니다. 찰리 커크는 93년생으로 청년 보수단체 터닝포인트 USA의 창립자고 또 지난 대선에서 트럼프 대통령에 대한 청년층의 지지를 이끌어내는 데 핵심적인 역할을 한 걸로 평가받는 인물인데요. 이번 사건을 두고 민주당과 공화당 모두 정치적 폭력에 대한 강력한 비판을 쏟아냈습니다.
I see. So on September 10th, during an event at Utah Valley University, Charlie Kirk, a close ally of President Trump, was shot and later died in the hospital. Born in 1993, Kirk founded the youth group titled Turning Point USA and was credited with rallying young voters for Trump in the last election. Now, both Democrats and Republicans condemned the attack as political violence. Well, eventually a suspect was arrested. So who is the suspect? 결국 용의자가 체포가 됐는데요. 용의자는 누굽니까?
네, 지난 10일 유타주지사 스펜서 콕스는 기자회견에서 용의자는 22살 타일러 로빈슨이다 라고 공식 밝혔습니다. 용의자는 아버지에게 범행을 자백한 뒤에 이걸 전해 들은 지인이 당국에 신고했습니다. 용의자는 범행 직전에 정치적 성향을 더 강하게 드러냈고 찰리 커크의 견해를 반대했다고 언급했는데요. 수사 당국 관계자에 따르면 용의자가 찰리 커크의 견해에 깊은 불만을 드러냈다는 건 확인을 했지만 아직 구체적인 범행 동기는 알려지지 않았습니다.
그렇군요. So on September 12th, the Utah Governor Spencer Cox identified the suspect as 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. Robinson confessed the crime to his father, who reported it to authorities. Investigators said Robinson had expressed opposition to Kirk's views and held strong political opinions, but his exact motives actually remains unclear, so we'll have to keep an eye on this. With that, let's jump into our last topic of the day. A woman is facing backlash after snatching a home run ball from a child at a U.S. baseball game. So let's hear what happened. 세 번째 소식입니다. 미국의 한 야구장에서 아이에게 날아온 홈런볼을 빼앗은 여성이 비난을 받고 있다고 하는데요. 어떤 소식인가요?
네, 지난 6일 미국 마이애미에서 열린 필라델피아 필리스와 마이애미 말린스와의 경기에서 있었던 일인데요. 관중석으로 홈런볼이 하나 날아옵니다. 그 근처 관중들이 홈런볼 하나를 두고 경쟁을 하는데요. 이후 한 남성이 죽게 됐고요. 또 이날 생일을 맞은 자신의 어린 아들 링컨의 글러브에 넣어주는데요. 근데 떨어진 홈런볼 근처에 있던 한 여성이 아주 강하게 소유권을 주장을 합니다. 이 부산 사직 야구장이었다면 주변에서 아주라 라고 했을 텐데 더 큰 일을 만들고 싶지 않았던 아버지는 다시 여성에게 홈런볼을 넘겨주고요. 네, 이 과정을 지켜본 다른 현장 관중들도 여성에게 야유를 보냈고요. 결국 여성은 경기장 밖으로 사라졌습니다.
그렇군요. So on September 6th in Miami, during a game between the Philadelphia Phillies and Miami Marlins, a home run ball flew into the stands. One man picked it up and placed it in his young son Lincoln's gloves for his birthday. A nearby woman aggressively claimed the ball, and the father handed it over to avoid conflict. And other people around, they booed, and the woman eventually left the stadium. But since it was his birthday, the boy must have been especially upset. So did he receive anything else? 이 아들의 생일이었다니 더욱 속상한 마음이 컸을 것 같은데요. 혹시 다른 선물을 받았나요?
네, 이 소동을 접한 필라델피아 구단은 6일 경기가 끝난 후에 링컨을 라커룸에 직접 초대를 했고요. 또 문제의 발단이 된 이 대형 홈런포의 주인공 베이더가 또 직접 서명한 야구 배트를 링컨에게 선물했다고 합니다. 근데 이 관련 동영상이 퍼지면서 사건이 커지자 링컨 가족은 여성에 대한 신상 털기 등의 공격을 멈춰달라고 호소했습니다.
그렇군요. 따뜻한 마무리네요. So after the game, they invited Lincoln and they actually personally gave him a signed bat. And as the video spread online, the family asked the public to stop harassing the woman involved. And that's going to do it for today's update coming from the USA. 네, 오늘 미국 소식 전해주셔서 감사합니다.
네, 감사합니다. 지금까지 미국 샌디에고에서 통신원 봉소연이었습니다.
All right, and that was Ms. Pong So-yeon, based in San Diego, getting all the updates coming from the U.S. And listeners, I do want to let you know today we were talking about the Sea Art Festival. Thank you so much for your messages and your listenership. We're going to be giving out today's coffee coupon to ZZZZ님 messaging in. Thank you so much for tuning in today and messaging in, and welcome to Busan Worldwide. And tomorrow on Busan Worldwide, we're going to be meeting with a teacher from Mandok Elementary School who leads an international exchange club connecting students with the wider world. So tune in tomorrow. Final song for today is by Will J with Gentleman. And actually, we will not be listening to any song because we have about 30 seconds left. But I'll see you tomorrow at 11:05 a.m. Join me and hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Bye-bye.
혹시 지금 운전 중이신가요? 어린이 교통사고 피해자 수는 지난 3년 평균 약 9만 명. 특히 어린이 보호구역 안전 기준이 강화된 이후에도 어린이 보호구역 내 사고는 지속적으로 발생하고 있습니다. 스쿨존에서는 반드시 시속 30km 이하 서행, 스쿨존 내 불법 주정차 금지, 차량 출발 전 앞뒤 좌우 살피는 습관으로 어린이가 안전한 도시를 만듭니다. 참, 운전 중 휴대전화 사용은 모두에게 위험합니다. 우리 모두를 위한 교통안전, 나부터 실천하면 모두가 안전해집니다. 어린이가 안전하게 뛰어놀 수 있는 부산. 아이 키우기 좋은 도시는 우리 모두의 미래이자